Becoming an organ donor. Facts about organ donation. 21 people die every day while waiting for a transplant or donation. One organ donor can save up to 8 lives and change the lives of more than 50 people. And almost anyone can be an organ donor regardless of the age or their medical history, and almost all major religions in the U.S. support organ donation. Donors can still have open casket funerals, and organ donation doesn't cost the donor's family any money. It's all free and your choice. If a person is hospitalized, the medical staff provides the best possible care, regardless of organ donor status. Donation is only considered after a patient has died. Donors are needed for all races and ethnic groups. Transplant success rates increase when organs are matched between members of the same ethnic background. Who can donate? All individuals can donate. If under the age of 18, your parents' permission is usually a must, and it also depends on a body's condition at the time of death. There are no age limitations for donating. It all depends on your physical well-being. Newborns and elderly have been known to donate. If you are a non-resident of the United States, you can also give and receive organs. It all depends on your medical necessities, not your citizenship. And even if individuals have a previous medical condition, there's still a chance that you can donate. And if medical professionals evaluate you and determine that you are capable of donating organs, you can. It has been determined that being an organ donor and donating your body to science is difficult, and they usually say one is to be chosen. Organs that can be donated include the heart, kidneys, pancreas, lungs, liver, and your intestines. Tissue that can be donated is your cornea, skin, heart valves, bone, blood vessels, and connective tissue. Other donations include bone marrow, stem cells, umbilical cord blood, and peripheral blood stem cells. When are organs donated? An individual donates organs after death once they are pronounced brain dead, or when an individual matches someone who is in need of a transplant and is willing to donate an organ while they're still alive. Why should you donate? In America, there are more than 123,000 men, women, and children in need of an organ. Every 30 minutes, someone is added to that waiting list. And the average number of people who die each year before they can receive an organ is nearly 11,000, or 30 people every day. That is the equivalent of 22 jumbo jets crashing every year with no survivors. And this includes more than 6,000 who die while on the national transplant waiting list, and 18 people a day plus more than 4,000 people are removed from the waiting list because they are too sick to get the transplant. To become an organ donor, becoming an organ donor saves lives, and you can save up to as many as 50 people. Giving the gifts of life can help the family's grieving process. Many of the donors' families say that knowing that their family member helped save someone's life helps with them and their loss. To get started, you can register with your state donor registry if it's available. I think almost all states have it. You designate your decision on your driver's license, and you need to let your family know. Your family needs to know that you are willing to be an organ donor. They need to know that if something ever happens to you, they need to carry out your wishes, and they need to make sure that they do as you please once you've passed on. The percentages of donating organs in Texas. The highest is in Kendall County with 64.23% of people that are signed up for donating, and the lowest is Willacy County with 16.18%. And if you click on the link I have here, you can go and it'll show you all the counties in the state of Texas. There are different types of living organ donation. The first one is directed donation, which is a form of donation where a healthy person donates an organ to a specific person with whom they either have genetic or pre-existing relationships with. Directed altruistic donation is where the cases which fulfill the two conditions and they are being directed to a specific individual, and there is no evidence of a qualifying genetic or pre-existing relationship. These cases are usually tended to be like a third party, and it's usually just if they match, then they can donate. A non-directed altruistic donation is a form of donation where a healthy person donates an organ to an unknown recipient, someone whom they've never met and is not known to them. It is also a form of donation whereby a healthy living person is able to donate a kidney to someone they do not know. So technically it's a donation where you just donate to someone who is in need, not necessarily a family member or a friend or someone you know. It's just someone that you get to help. And a non-directed altruistic donor chains was introduced in 2012. This form of donation is where a non-directed altruistic donor donates their organs into a pool. By matching two or more donors and recipients, a chain of operations can be carried out. So you sign up, and as soon as you get matched up with someone, then you can donate your organ to them. There are problems and complications with donating your organs. Most people who have an organ transplant live a pretty normal life, but medical problems do lead. There are medications that you have to take that help suppress the immune system so they don't fight the organ off. Sometimes people get diabetes, high cholesterol, which can clog up your blood vessels and possibly damage the new organ. There's high blood pressure. The medications can aggravate and cause the high blood pressure. There's gastrointestinal problems, which it's fairly common side effect of steroids if you have to take steroids with part of your medications. There's gout, which is a buildup of uric acid in the blood. There's anxiety and also depression, and that can usually lead to just the fact that you got a new organ and you're taking new medications. You can get sexual problems. Some people have transplanted. It usually depends. Sometimes it'll decrease the sex drive or the loss of function. And there's also unwanted hair growth. So you could try just shaving, waxing. There's drugstore products, but it's usually just a side effect. My experience with organ donation, my grandfather, Raymond Stewart, had a heart attack, I think in his 50s. He ended up getting a heart transplant, and he ended up living 10 more years. He had to take the medications that I mentioned previously to help his body cope with the new heart, because obviously the body realizes that it is a foreign organ and they want to fight it off and try and kill it like it's a bacteria or a virus. So he had to take medications. So for taking those same medications for 10 years ended up killing off his liver. So he ended up dying about a month or two before I was born. So I never knew him, but also my family members got an extra 10 years with him. So without that person that gave him his heart, he would have been gone before. He wouldn't have lived those 10 years extra that he got because of that heart donation. Donating can help save so many lives. I personally am signed up to be an organ donor because signing up and being able to donate organs can save a bunch of lives. As you can see here, there are tons of people on a waiting list for a transplant or an organ donation, and the actual transplants that actually happen because there's not enough donors that are willing to donate. So as you can see, there are plenty of people that are either on a waiting list or end up dying because they just don't get the organ in time. So sign up and save lives.